Hey everybody, this is Andrew Lee, the health insurance guy, and I wanted to make a quick video about Medicare 101. This is not going to be the most sexiest topic to talk about, but it's extremely necessary to go over because a lot of seniors are very underserved, going into Medicare, right? When they turn 65, who can they turn to? I mean, there's just a bunch of, scam phone calls coming in 30 times a day for those turning 65. A lot of weird commercials on TV that just don't make too much sense. So, as an agent that's been doing this for a while, I wanted to share my screen with you and just sort of go through a Medicare 101 and just making sure that you guys know fully how Medicare actually works and what your options are, just so that you're not in the dark. And hopefully this video very much helps with that so you can make an educated decision from there. And the first slide here is going to be a picture of me. So this is me, Andrew Lee, health insurance guy. I'm also the primary agent, the principal agent, founder, president, slash everything else for Health Mutual Network. And I've worked with hundreds of clients over the past 10 years on Medicare. So safe to say that I am an expert in this field. And I've been on many top producer trips. I've been considered a top producing agency. And I've pretty much been in all ranks when it comes to anything health insurance related. So yeah, I've been around the block and I know what I'm talking about. And there's a picture of my dog Lulu. I love Lulu. So let's get this out the way first, because a lot of people even get hung up on this part, but this is basically what Medicare is, right? Medicare is comprised of two parts, right? Part A and Part B, as we can see here. So Part A generally has a $0 premium. And the reason why is because, you've been, paying into your FICA taxes for all those years, 40 quarters, 10 years is what's going to qualify you to get Part A, which is hospitalization, which is just the hospital itself. So think the lab, the beds, right? The physical walls, right? The actual hospital itself, including, inpatient care, skilled nursing facility, lab work, things like that. That's a $0 premium, again, because you guys have already paid for this. And that's generally going to be $0. Part B is your doctors, right? So the hospital is Part A, and then you have your doctors that need to fill the hospital, because Part A is just basically the hospital itself, the actual physical structure, whereas Part B are the doctors that fill it. So that's anywhere from medical services, medical supplies, specialist visits, regular doctor visits, and preventative checkups, and everything in between. So you need both of these plans. A and B together is what's called original Medicare, right? So there is a red, white, and blue card that you get once you qualify for both of these. Now, Part A has a $0 premium. Part B has a $164 premium. And that premium is everybody has to pay that, no matter where it comes out from, whether it's going to be taken care of by Social Security, where you have it just directly come out of there, or you can pay for it out of pocket quarterly, or if you have a Medicaid account along with Medicare, so you're a dual eligible beneficiary, then you don't have to pay that Part B. Obviously Medicaid pays for that. So so both of these together equal original Medicare, which is, again, that red, white, and blue card that you do receive. Now, here's the coverage on original Medicare, so the A and B. So Medicare is going to cover 80% of whatever you need, and then the member is going to actually take care of 20%. So there's actually a 20% gap in Medicare, right? So when somebody says they have Medicare, right, and they have the red, white, and blue card, best believe that they have some kind of Medicare Advantage or some kind of Medicare supplement plan to take care of the rest of that 20%, because that's an exposure there, right? That 20%. So Medicare, again, takes care of hospitalization and doctors, right? Now, if you had to go to the hospital for any reason and it was $1 million bill, I'm just exaggerating, but whatever the case is, you're on the hook for 200,000 of that, right? And if you went to the hospital again, like that just doesn't go away, right? If you go to the hospital again the same year, and that was $100,000, which $100,000 these days is extremely easy to rack up. I mean, let's just be real, right? $100,000, you're still on the hook for 20,000 of it, right? So just because you hit $200,000 early on in the year and you had another incident and you had to pay another, $20,000, if another incident happens, then you're on the hook for another 20% of whatever that gross amount was going to be. So that's pretty catastrophic, right? Just having that 20% exposure. So, and also, yeah, there's no out-of-pocket maximum limit for these members, right? So there's no cap to these events. Like if it happens, it happens. And if it happens again, you're going to pay the full price. So even though you do have Medicare, you definitely have some exposure there. Well, to qualify for Medicare, you do have to be either 65 years and up and a American citizen or legal resident green card holder for at least 5 years and must have worked in the US for at least 10 years or 40 quarters. And some exceptions to this is anybody that has disability, right? So anybody that has some kind of disability policy, then they could qualify for Medicare under 65 with that, right? And also if they received railroad retirement disability payments as well too, those are going to be the exceptions there. And is Part A and B enough? Right? That's the question, right? That's literally the reason why Medicare agents exist, right? Is to plug that hole, right? And find out a way that we can customize what you actually need, what kind of medications you're taking, what doctors are in network, and then find a policy for you. That's our job to do. And it's free to work with us, by the way, just how it is with, like, let's say if you're getting an auto quote or something like that, it's the same deal, right? But it's just a matter of finding an agent that you trust because they know their stuff, or they're just you have a good vibe about them, whatever it is, however you found them, they're informative, and you feel like you get along with that person, then of course an agent's going to be very crucial in this process. But I definitely want to still educate you guys on what this means. So is Part A and Part A and B enough? Together, Medicare Parts A and B can provide somebody with insurance, and can assist with some medical bills getting out of hand, hence the 80% coverage for doctor visits in hospital. However, the coverage itself has some rather large setbacks, such as large deductibles and no out-of-pocket maximum, right? So that's what I was meaning, that every single time that it happens and you're on the hook for whatever that 20% is, it's pretty volatile, especially if you want some kind of peace of mind. You want a security blanket of sort. You want a stop loss, right? So this is the reason why Medicare health plans exist, right? So I'm going to walk you through one of the options for Medicare. One of those plans that plug up to 20% or essentially help out with the exposure. Medicare Advantage, right? You guys have heard of Medicare Advantage or Part C. Again, I don't want to confuse you with all the letters, but Medicare Advantage is also called Part C. Medicare Advantage plans take the place of traditional Medicare. So essentially, if somebody is on original Medicare Part A and B, they're basically relinquishing their rights to be on A and B to go with a private company, a private insurance company in the area to become their Medicare Advantage carrier, as opposed to just staying with Medicare, original Medicare. So again, Part A and B still need to be active, but the only thing is now we're relinquishing our 20%, our coverage to a privatized company. That's basically what a Medicare Advantage plan is. Medicare funds the insurance companies, hence why a lot of these plans are generally about $0 per month, is because Medicare funds them, right? Because what are they saying? They're saying, hey, okay, cool, A and B is provided by us, but if you guys want to take care of, Mrs. Jones, then of course put them in a Medicare Advantage plan. You guys are going to take care of her, and we're going to help fund that. So that's basically how what they're saying, or how that's explained. So Medicare Advantage plans, they're generally going to be combined into one plan. So it's like an all-in-one plan. You've probably seen it on TV with all those retired football players and Jimmy from Good Times and all those guys, right? And it's constantly on TV. Goodness. So they combine everything in one plan. You know, you have medical benefits, you have your PDPs, your drug plans. You know, you get additional benefits like OTC benefits, dental, vision, and hearing, and everything in between. And Medicare plans are very much like a traditional health plan. So, like if you're under 65, if you have a regular health plan, or if you have it through work, if you have it through the exchange, whatever it is, you know, everything's pretty much all in one, right? You don't have to get your own drug plan here. You don't have to get your own doctor plan here. You don't have to get your own, you know, dental, vision, and hearing here, right? Some of them are all built in. So this works more like a traditional health insurance plan. Now, the pros and cons. The pros are everything's all combined into one, right? Sort of a all-in-one kind of plan. And there's fewer premiums, you know. Some plans even have zero premiums. Like I said, a lot of these plans can have $0 premiums, and there's no underwriting, there's no health question. So if you've had cancer 17 times, right, you can still get into this plan. Just depending on when the the enrollment period for this would be, if there's a special enrollment or if it's like a regular open enrollment period, like AEP, which is the enrollment period where everybody that's a beneficiary can change their Medicare Advantage or their prescription drug plan from October 15th to December 7th. So the cons to a Medicare Advantage plan is they do require networks, right? So if you have one doctor that's a primary care physician in one medical group, and you have two specialists in another, and it's mandatory, it's life or death, that you have to go to one of these two doctors, then all of the networks all have to align. If for any reason the networks don't align, then guess what? The beneficiary is looking for a new specialist, right? And if it's life or death, I mean, we have to do something about that. So that's one of the cons. The copays can add up pretty quickly. Pre-authorization sometimes is going to be required for certain surgeries, procedures, things like that. So pros and cons there for Advantage plan. The other side of the coin, so let's say Medicare is a coin, right? There's one side is going to be a Medicare Advantage plan to plug up or help plug up the exposure from original Medicare. And you have on the other side a Medicare supplement plan, which a lot of people confuse for a Medicare Advantage plan, but a Medicare supplement plan is different. And I'll show you how it's different. It's also called a Medigap policy. So if you see that, then they're synonymous. So they supplement a Medicare A and B. So Medicare, again, pays 80% of whatever doctor visits and hospitalization that you needed to get. And then now the supplement takes care of 20%. So the Medicare Advantage plan basically didn't plug up the 20% from A and B from original Medicare. What it did is it became its own insurance plan, generally with $0 premiums and copays on it. So this is you being on original Medicare still, but you're getting a supplemental plan that just plugs up that 80%. So in the Medicare market, supplement plans generally have, it is one of the best, it is probably the best medical, I would say the best medical plan that you could buy, you know, and even for people under 65, this is probably, you know, the top of the top. For those that can afford it, right? If it's within your budget and if you're actually a good candidate for this, then of course, you know, this is going to be one of those peace of mind plans because you can go pretty much wherever you want. So the way that it's designed is, you know, again, Medicare supplements are designed by Medicare themselves, right? They're not relinquishing their coverage rights to a privatized company like Medicare Advantage. So the plans are standardized, which means all coverages are identical. So if let's say a carrier one had, you know, $150 for the Medicare supplement premium, there is a premium associated with Medicare supplements. Hence, you know, that's why you can roam, and that's why the coverage is pretty straightforward. And you just have to generally pay your deductible, your Part B deductible, and then, you know, after that you're pretty much all set. And I'll show you which plan that is pretty soon. But, you know, if one company that had a plan G which is the type of Medicare supplement plan, was at $150, and another was at $250. And they have the exact same plan, by the way. They're both the same exact Plan G because the government designed it like that, right? So all Plan Gs, all Medicare supplement plans that have the same letter are going to be built the same. The only difference is going to be the pricing of the actual plan, the premium, and the reputation of the company, right? So these plans are given to private insurance companies to market so that the insurance companies can determine how much they wish to charge. So like I said, like how a Medicare Advantage plan is going to be a private insurance company, that same private insurance company that has that Medicare Advantage plan could be the same company that actually helps you out with the Medicare supplement. So that's funny to say, but it's one company and they have two different types of plans, the supplemental plan and Medicare Advantage. And here are some of the rates for a Medicare Advantage plan. So with the here's some of the plans here. I don't want to confuse you with a lot of these because a lot of these I personally won't enroll people into plan A just because there's more there's more exposures than there are coverage for plan A. Plan B, same deal. I'm just not too this is getting me a little bit nervous. Oops, sorry again. This is getting me a little bit nervous here, right? The lack of exposure here and here. I generally go with a plan F would be nice to do, but we can't enroll people that are new to Medicare into plan F. So plan G is always going to be my go-to. Plan N maybe if they're price conscious, but plan G I would definitely recommend going with. All you have to do is pay your Part B deductible, which is not much, and everything else after that is going to be free. So again, peace of mind. The only thing that you do have to get with a Medicare supplement plan is a separate drug plan, and this is going to be again through a private insurance company, and these insurance companies get funding from the government, so they're not too expensive. But you do have to get one of these with the Medicare supplement plan, just because supplement plans don't include prescription drug plans like a Medicare Advantage plan does. So PDPs, prescription drug plans, cover Part D. So when you hear Part D, D for drugs, you can relate it with that. Part D, they're going to be prescriptions that you can take, get at the pharmacy. They do not cover Part B drugs, so this is going to be a standalone plan that you need to supplement with your Medicare supplement plan. Because again, they do not have a drug plan built in. So we got to get one of these. And then, Part B drugs are highly expensive and are injectables. There are going to be some drugs that Part B could handle to take care of for you, but prescription drug plans are going to be the go-to if you want a real prescription drug plan. So that is sort of my overview of what Medicare is, right? Just in a nutshell. And I wanted to visualize this for you guys too. So I'm so glad that I can make this video for you guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me here at info@healthmutualnetwork.com, or you can give me a call directly to me. I'll answer the phone and I'll be happy to guide you guys. My phone number is 323-844-8471. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.